I'm Andy.
I'm Melissa.
And I'm Jack.
And together we're working on restoring our sailing yacht.
Some of you might think we're crazy taking on the challenge of restoring this boat and creating a life less ordinary.
And we're sure there will be blood, sweat and tears, but it'll all be worth it when we embark on our epic adventure around the world. I'm just going to explore that bit for a minute.
It's my birthday and we're going swimming in the sea. Woo! That was really nice and refreshing. We've just got out to sea and then we're going to go home and just chill out for the evening for the rest of my birthday.
This is where one of the old chain plates was, and I've cleaned up all of the rust around that area so that we can paint that tomorrow. We're just going to prep all of this and probably paint it tomorrow, or Melissa will. And what I'll do eventually is grind this down flat, because I'm going to put a new chain plate on here on the outside, as I've said. And you're probably thinking, well, why don't you grind that down flat today? What's your problem? Two reasons. One, it takes quite a long time to grind that much steel down absolutely flat, and if I spend all the time doing that, we're not going to get the rest of the coach roof ready to paint. Secondly, I'm going to be coming back to this area to weld on a new chain plate, and I'll be putting a tarp over with a hole cut in it to protect the paint when I put the new chain plate on. But having this here, it means that we can precisely locate the position where this chain plate needs to go.
Yeah. So, our mission today was to prep the coach roof and do the sides and around the window. But we've discovered that the windows are going to need a lot more work. There's some holes and stuff in the frames. So we're just going to concentrate. You know, that's too much to try and fit into a day and me painting tomorrow. So what we're going to do is concentrate on the coach roof and get that all prepped and cleaned and ready for me to paint tomorrow.
We've been working steadily all morning just trying to get this coach roof ready to paint, and the temptation is to do the top and the front and the sides of the coach roof around all the windows. The issue with that we've discovered as we've dug more deeply into it is that some of the window frames are recessed, so there's a little lip where water has sat and it's rotted the frame a little bit. That in itself isn't a big problem, we can repair that. But previous boats that we've had, we've used polycarbonate windows on the outside, Sikaflexed on with a row of cap head bolts and nylock nuts, and it works really, really nicely. And I think that's the way we're going to go, because rather than take that glass out, take the aluminium frame out, repair the steel lip that it sits on, and then put it all back together, and then end up with the same thing in a few years' time because water sits on that lip. Let's just get rid of that way of doing it altogether. So, but the result of that is that we're now not going to do the front and sides of the coach roof today. We're just going to focus on the top.
And what we'll say, eventually we want to change the windows to opening ones anyway.
Yeah.
So we don't want to spend a massive amount of work on non-opening ones.
Totally, because these windows don't open, so we're going to be changing them. It's not urgent, it's not essential to get the boat in the water, but somewhere down the line we're going to rip these windows out completely.
Yeah, they'll be a completely different shape to the new ones will be a completely different
totally. So for now, the quickest, easiest, most efficient, most cost-effective way to repair those windows is to get rid of them and just put polycarbonate around the outside with a row of bolts and Sikaflex, and we've done it countless times on other boats and it works really well. Sort of endlessly cleaning up as we go along, tidy away the tools, sweep up all of the dust and what have you, and hoover it all up, and then carry on. Yeah, it's just a kind of case of make a bit of dust and clear it up straight away as you go. Keep the dust down to an absolute minimum. Managed to get these dorade vents open. They were painted shut, and with a bit of work and having cleaned up all the old paint, they've actually all unscrewed. I bet they haven't been opened since the boat was built, but they're going to be super handy. Going to put funnels on the top of them, absolutely brilliant. The old wooden slats, by the way, we removed those. Sorry, the wooden support slats, sorry. The wooden cradle for the life raft. There was a tiny little bit of corrosion under the wood, which always happens when you put wood on metal. So the wood gets wet and the metal rusts. So we've removed those. We're not going to be putting our life raft here on the front on the foredeck. We're going to be putting it on the pushpit rail, so it's easier to deploy from the cockpit in the event of an emergency. But I'm leaving the tie down points, and the reason I'm leaving those is because A, we can use them for tying down the dinghy, the tender, when it's on the foredeck when we're on passage, and B, I might make a kind of nice wooden pirate's chest kind of thing to go on the foredeck here, just to keep ropes and warps and fenders and stuff like that, and you know, swimming stuff or whatever, because we don't have the opening lazarette now in the back. There'll be even more sanding to do in a minute and more dust to clear up before we paint, of course. If you're wondering why my t-shirt's wet, by the way, I just had a cockpit shower because it's boiling here today. So I just drenched myself with the hose pipe in the cockpit. So yeah, what's next? We've got some sanding to do, making sure that we've got all the little bits of stuff that we need to get. Then one last hoover up, tidy up all the tools, and then paint on. Okay, so I've got to go home because I'm working tomorrow, but Melissa and Jack are staying here, and Melissa's going to paint that tomorrow, first thing in the morning, so that she's got plenty of time rather than doing it at the end of the day when the sun's about to go down. It's about to hit dew point. It's not, it's going to be a few hours yet, but it's getting cooler in the day, so better to paint it tomorrow morning, first thing, and then I'm going to be at work. So yeah, over to Melissa tomorrow morning.
Right, I'm carrying on where Andy left off. It's hot again today, but it's lovely. There's a bit of a breeze. I'm smothered in sun cream from head to toe because I am ginger. And I am going to sand the pilot house roof just to prep that for another coat of paint. Just going to go over these spots that have got a bit of surface rust on overnight. Yeah, and then I'm going to paint it all. And I've got my wonderful knee pads that somebody donated to us. So off I go. What I just want to say is hopefully we've managed to get the footage back, but one of the SD cards corrupted. We did loads of filming from my birthday. We had a lovely barbecue on the boat. It was really nice. I felt thoroughly spoilt. We also did lots of work yesterday morning that we missed out on. We've put these up. I've got dust sheets just to protect the boat next door, and also to try and give us a bit of shade, but the sun's pretty high up in the sky this morning already. I know that's predictable where the sun will be, but you know what I mean. When I put them up it made sense. But either way, it protects our mast on the floor from little particles of rust, and it protects the boat next door. So we've also managed to get these lovely vents open. They were painted shut, but they're great. There's one, this one here's in the forepeak. These two are in the main saloon, and this one is in the wardrobe. Then this one here, that's the vent that's got a cover that goes into the head. So Melody is actually starting to look a bit more presentable in the yard. As you can see, she has a white coach roof. lots more layers, lots more sandings needed, and it was a long 2 hot sweaty days of sanding and painting, cleaning and painting. But I don't have any paint in my hair, which is a win-win. I don't have too much on me. The only thing that I have got, which is quite funny, where the red on the deck, which has bled through a bit, has stuck to my sun cream, I look like I've been tangoed. I am pretty orange. So if you've been watching this episode thinking that I've got a really bad fake tan, it is the paint and my sun cream sticking together. So time to get cleaned up. That's better. All done. Time to go home. Time to start my new job tomorrow. Thanks for watching. See you next week. Bye bye.